guys, Darius here. It's a lovely summer's day to be doing some work on the car. Today's work is basically going to be installing a GFB blow-off valve. The car's already got a blow-off valve as it sits, but for the day-to-day drive it's not that great to listen to. Me myself, I've run GFB products on other cars that I've had in the past and I can't complain about them. And plus a lot of the guys that run blow-off valves do prefer GFB, just because of their adjustability and their craftsmanship and their legalities and all that stuff. But yeah, I've got the brand new product here today. It's a lovely fine piece of kit, and because with the previous owner putting the HKS blow off on this car in particular, they've had a block of plug in one of the hoses there, so I have to run this in order to run the GFB. But not that hard of a job to do, so let's get it done. Okay, so I'm here under the engine bay. As you can see, the lovely HKS blow-off valve, but not to my particular liking. So they've obviously got the block of plug there. So I'm going to be running the GFB one. Let's get it done. Okay, so today's tools that you need are your socket set for the bolts that go onto the intercooler, your Phillips head for the elbow that goes onto your blow-off valve, and plus any hose clamps that you do need to undo. Side cutters for the cable ties that you do need to cut off for like vacuum lines or stuff. And in this particular case I need Allen keys, because the bolts that do go, the new bolts supplied with the blow-off valve that are supplied are Allen keys, so I'll need to have Allen keys to bolt it to the intercooler. So let's get it done. Okay, so I've already put on the stock elbow from what would have been the stock blow-off valve. I don't have one on the current blow-off valve because it's got a block of plug. On the T9003 setup for the GFB blow-off valves. But it should be straightforward, and let's put it on. Okay, so I've got my 12mm socket, but I've actually lied in that sense, and I can't get a socket in behind there, so I'm going to try and use a spanner. So let's get it done. Okay, so I've removed the old setup here. I actually had a billet block off in the hose down there, and I've used 2 bolts there. So now I'll just throw on the GFB kit. Okay, for the sake of accessibility, I've decided to do my hose here first, and then I'm going to put in these bolts, but I'm going to make sure that these are in loose, both are at least in and threaded before I do them up. So let's get it done. Alright, and that's practically in. Looking a little bit more standard, like a little bit more stealthy. But yeah, just as a reminder, please thread these bolts in first before you do them up tight. Just because if you do end up cross-threading these bolts, you're going to have a nice and fun time re-threading them or re-tapping them, or even, worst case scenario, buying a whole new intercooler. So, but yeah, time to go for a test run and see what it sounds like. Okay, so the install is looking prim and proper. Also, just a note on this particular model of blow-off valve, you can twist the collar here to whether you want to vent to atmosphere or vent back into the motor. If it's a road registered car in Sydney, obviously you need to vent it back to the motor. If it's for track use only, obviously you can vent it out to atmosphere. That's probably one of the good things about GFB, quality of product. And I have, like I said, I have used them before and never let me down. So yeah. Simple install, pretty straightforward, and well worth the install. Until next time, guys, peace.